This is a recording of marine life and how it affects our world. In today's consumer-driven society, it is easy to constantly consume and discard waste products without ever considering where they might end up. There are tons of toxic waste products and plastics in particular that end up through various means of disposal and suffocating our oceans. And the goal today is to identify one of these ways, the effects of plastic pollution, and how we can mitigate the harm of moving forward. The causes of plastic is everywhere in the world. It is not just in the sewers. Plastic litters our beaches across the world, according to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. The top 10 marine debris items include cigarettes, cigarette filters, plastic bags, food wrappers, containers and caps, beverage bottles, and straws and paper bags. It's all waste all over the beaches, as you see in the photo right here. As on the land, the effects of the plastic remain felt all over the nation. Studies reveal that 12.7 tons of plastic are wasted into the ocean every year. The more people waste plastic in the ocean, the more poisonous our waters become. When a person leaves plastic in the water, it leaves water pollution. As you see in this photo here, water pollution is basically dirty water, which causes health problems, kill fish, and makes severe mess on the land as well. It has several effects on society in both land and sea, and combined with ecological, sociological, economic effects, entanglement, toxicological effects via ingestion, plastics, suffocation, starvation, dispersal, and rafting organisms, proposition of new habitats, and introduction of invasive species are significant to effects with growing threats into biodiversity, trophic relationships, degradation, and modification to marine life and marine systems are associated with lost system services. These toxins can make lots of people sick and cost lives. It can even affect the land. According to an article by GNN through Sari and JDM, I don't know how to pronounce that name. The plastic pollution is an unprecedented and continuous accumulation of growing plastic contaminants into receptive and aquatic ecosystems by the anthropogenic sources. It causes direct or indirect interruption of ecosystem structure functions and consistently services and values. Land-based and sea-based sources are primary sources of these contaminants in various modes in the entry ocean, where plastic plays a role. These toxins can cause diseases that can kill people or cause permanent damage to the human body. These diseases are spread by unsafe waters, including cholera, diarrhea, and typhoid. These diseases cause severe problems to your health. As for example, these examples are cholera cause severe vomiting, diarrhea, Giardia could cause germs that cause giardiasis, which is an intestinal infection, and typhoid causes high fever, diarrhea, and vomiting. Each of these diseases can increase severe damage to the human body, whether temporary or permanently. In the ocean, fish are constantly dying from decomposed and poisonous plastic. Without some fish, humans' food supply could be challenged. It can also be contaminated to animals with bacteria. Author Ben Harvey, assistant professor in the University of Shibuya Marine Research Center, said that discarded plastic drinking bottles have been a common sight in our oceans and are causing different types of bacteria. It's also predicted that CO2 levels will cause significant changes in the bacterial colonies and further affect our species. To see the beneficial species dwindling to harmful species thrive is an obvious concern in the present and future. It's also an article that Elizabeth Rote chronicles by a fisherman containing plastic among the Their cherry diet is fed upon Jerry's Mocha's fish, commonly used for research. And that then fell right there. A bit long story short, they suffered liver damage. And to avoid future endeavors of plastic in the ocean, it could be problematic if left unchecked. It can become sick and fish and causing a food shortage and creating new diseases. For example, and one article stated, um, unless action is taken soon to address this urgent problem, such as predict that the weight of plastic in the ocean will exceed contaminated weight of all the fish in seas to fit by 2050, and the world will be ruined beyond repair in the years to come. If this is an issue left unchecked, the only way to stop this is to recycle and stop leaving plastic in the ocean everywhere. How pollution can affect the island, land. Water pollution can affect the land as well as the sea. It affects plaques in our ecosystem. There's so many countries where waste management systems don't function properly. It's trash simply dumped in the forests, on unused lands, and streams and lagoons. This fish island is called the Great Pacific Patch, overrun by plastics and extremely toxic. As you can see in the photo here, the other names are called plastic trash forests or garine. I don't know how to pronounce that. They're central North Pacific in the ocean and larger than the state of Texas. There are also garbage patches in the Indian and Atlantic Oceans. Patches that are defined as containing a higher amount of plastic as compared to surrounding oceans to date, and five patches in total have been discovered. These items have been thousands of plastics stored on them, which makes them a poison to our oceans. There are also other sources of water pollution, like used water, wastewater, and it comes from our sinks, toilets, flowers, and toilets, and even ourselves. Think of the sewage from commercial, industrial, and agricultural activities. Although big spills often dominate the headlines, considering amount a vast majority of oil pollution in our seas, including oil and online that drips millions of cars and the trucks every day. While oil is a great source of fuel, it's also a great source of pollution. There's also waste that is also a great source of pollution. And any pollution that emits radiations beyond normally released by the environment is also deadly if ingested. How we can stop this from happening? We need to save the world. Plastic is a big problem in our waters. In order to fix this, we need to prevent a possible catastrophe. We need to remove plastic from our land and seas. Here's what we can do. Consider eliminating single-use plastic, adopting eco-friendly and stable alternative. Simple things like reusable grocery bags, grass, coffee cups, and reusable straws can make a difference in the long term. It's important that to note that these small changes can reduce plastic waste. These alternatives can also carry their own footprint. Rain waters of plastic will also clean the water and make the ocean safe and free habitat. Establish a tracking system to monitor the waste and establish a collection site to improve overall efficiency of the collection process. Also, extensive work on the sewerage and drainage networks will complement the project. Consistently of recycling plastic will help as well. The reuse of the plastic instead of throwing it away is also a simple solution. We just recycle, people. This is the works cited page. Now I hope you guys all enjoyed this presentation, and I hope that you enjoyed this video as well. Thank you for listening. See ya.